Hey guys, Toves here. So we're taking another look at something in Arc today. We're going to take a quick look at the inventory. So if you press your I key, you will bring up the inventory. And this is slightly different to the way that Arc works, but basically all the same things are here. So it's just laid out in a slightly different way. So if you don't know that, you don't know how Arc works, or you're completely new to Atlas, I'll just take you through these things briefly. So up here in the top left corner, you have your inventory items. So these are basically the things that you're collecting or you've crafted. You have a search tool for this. So if I search Poppy, then it's keyword searches. So it basically is I get to a string of characters, it will start to limit the things in the inventory down. Next to that, you can toggle on and off your crafting panel, which is this down here. And this is and you can do the reverse and toggle off and on your inventory panel, which is the top section up here. On the left hand side of the inventory panel, you've got a bunch of controls, which are things like putting folders in. That can be handy for things like things that you want to keep in your inventory and you don't want to drop. So there's a new folder in there, and you can organize your stuff and put. I guess you can probably, you can't drag that, you can't move that static compass in your inventory. And you can do things like put folders in, toggle abstract items. Okay, so that toggles on and off that thing. Toggle tooltips. So that is going to turn on and off the tooltip overlay that you get. I'd say probably quite useful. I mean, they've got things like weigh and the spoil times and stuff on these. So certain resources will have a spoil time, which is what this green meter is underneath here. And when that green meter gets to the end, you won't have that item anymore. Down the bottom half of your screen here is your crafting menu. So these are the craftables effectively that you have learned or you know already. So it looks like we start off the game with a range of already craftable items, and we don't need to do anything in order to get those. So as we go across the screen here on the central area, we see effectively these are all your stats. So I can see that's my name up there. I'm already level 2. Respec. Interesting. I don't know what I just did. I don't know what that just did. Respec seems to have just done something. Oh, is this me now upgrading my player? Yes, I think so. So these are all let's take me into the skill menu. I don't want to do that yet. So, but it looks like when I got to that level there, I had this, as I leveled up, I had the option to add more spec. So if I click on that button that says respec, I'm able to choose some new stats. Or add some new stats. I'm not quite sure why it moved the berries from my hotbar down here. So if you want to put things in your hotbar, you just drag them straight out of your inventory and drop them on this hotbar down here. And any of the keys, obviously as a hotbar any of the keys will use those items. So the central section here, we have our XP. So this is our experience points. And as we get to the next level, as this bar fills up, we'll go up from level 2 to level 3. These central sections are your wearables or your armor. So if you can put things on your head, you can put things in your hand, etc, etc, etc. On the right of this central section are a bunch of stats in quite small text, not overly clear. It tells me where I am currently. It tells me where I am. G7 is obviously my map reference. The temperature and some information about this climate. Anchored ships limit. Just some basic information. Interestingly, it tells my age is 20, so it looks like we start off at that sort of age. Interested to see how quickly that number changes. And then below that is all your actual character stats. So we can see that my health is at full at the moment. It's 103 by 103, and obviously these things are changeable. So as I level up my character, I'll get the option to respec and add stats into those items. So we aren't really clear yet and each of these has got a tooltip by the looks of it. We're not really clear yet on what the values of all these will be. But if we take Arc as a measure, then we can assume that health is important, because health is obviously how much damage you can take in a fight and how much damage you can take from falling, all that sort of thing. Stamina is how quickly you can do things, how quickly you can run, how long you can do that thing for, so use a tool, etc. Food is obviously how quickly you're going to get hungry. So I haven't eaten anything yet on this server, and I'm not particularly hungry. So that usually in Ark, I'm assuming that Atlas will run in the same way, but that stat will usually be affected by your activity. And because I haven't been doing a lot, it's probably not changing very much. What is changing quite a bit is my water stat. Now my water stat will probably be affected by the values in the climate. So we know that the temperature is 25 degrees, 24 degrees. It's changing randomly because of the time of day, I would guess, and that will affect my overall water drain. Below that we've got oxygen, so that's how long you can hold your breath underwater, which is probably actually going to be more important in this game than it has been in Ark. Fortitude is, as it says, how easily you're affected by, or how much you're affected by the temperature variations. So the more fortitude you've got, the less that temperature stat will affect your burn on water and burn on food and that sort of thing. Weight is obviously important for the amount of stuff you can carry in your inventory. So I haven't got very much in my inventory at the moment, but if I just assume my hotkeys still work. Yeah, so I just dropped that, pressing D. Then my weight just went down. It went down by the weight that it's shown there. So that value in the bottom right corner is the weight of that item. Intelligence is one we haven't seen before. So one's capability to craft items quickly with additional stat bonuses, reduce cooldown on feats, and utilization of magic skills. Okay, so this is much like the crafting skill value in Ark, but with some additional Atlas specific stuff to with feats and magic skills which you've not come across before. So that's exciting. So running across the top then. So skills, these are effectively your learned items. So by the looks of it, as you unlock different things, you'll unlock different, so it's more like a tiered structure by the looks of it. Yeah, so if we look there, advanced tools unlocks all of those items on the right hand side. So this is very different to the way engrams work in Ark. This isn't anywhere near as probably as complicated as the way it worked in Ark. You've got individual control over each one of these things in Ark. So if you didn't want to learn a shovel, for example, you didn't learn a shovel, you use that value for something else. This looks like basically as you go up levels, you learn all of these things. So you learn a whole chunk of items. So potentially our character is becoming more, I guess, more specific to a specific discipline. Company is obviously is effectively my tribe, so I can create a new one of those if I wanted to. Tame groups are used for when you've probably we'll get into this in a later episode, but when you've tamed items, you can group them together and use instructions for that. Someone's trying to troll me in the background, or I'm being attacked by something. That's a bird flying past. Discoveries, I have no idea yet. Presumably, I haven't I haven't discovered anything, so it's not going to show me anything there. And then this is my map. So and you can see at the moment, I have explored a very small part of the map, so I'm not seeing very much of it. It looks like we can save views. Can zoom in and out. Toggle world grid view. Okay, so we can see it as a globe. Interesting. So you get an idea of the scale of it right there. That's where I am, and it's a vast map. You can search. Interesting. So you can manipulate this map quite a lot. So I think that's probably a whole other episode in itself, that one. But we shall leave it there, guys. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Toves, and I'm hoping you're enjoying the Atlas content and enjoying Atlas itself. And I shall see you out there on the seas. Take it easy.